Hey guys, welcome back to NBTVee. My name's Tara and tonight I'm joined by Stephen, Callan, Aiden, and we have a very special guest tonight, brand manager and lead artist at Playside Studios, Adam Bax.
Thank you very much for having me.
Welcome, Adam. And tonight we're also going to be playing Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight. Take it back to the mid. Yeah, we can.
Hollow Knight as well. So Adam, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Do you want to tell us a bit about Playside Studios and what you do there?
Playside Studios. So we're a mobile game developer in Port Melbourne, here in Australia, and we make mobile games and apps for the phone. Yeah. My job, if you want to know more about that, is
We do.
brand manager and lead artist. It's my official title, and I.
Sounds very fancy.
It's not. I just make sure that it goes out looking good. That's pretty much summing up my total role. Is make sure that everything we put out looks good.
That's pretty key though, because if you put something out that looks shit, then generally
It's your fault. You're the one who cops it.
Yeah, I'll get in a lot of trouble. So
Yeah, right.
cool. So we're gonna start a fresh game of Hollow Knight, which we've also got in front of us. So we'll, which is an indie title that you guys have been playing. I haven't played this before. This is one that I don't know a lot about. So.
Very different from last stream, yeah.
Yeah.
This game's very, very, very good. Developed by two guys, part of Team Cherry or Red Cherry, something like that.
Team Cherry.
Team Cherry. That's the one I'm thinking of. Two guys who are based in Australia actually, so they're part of the Australian indie gaming scene. But yeah, it's honestly a fantastic game, great art style, amazing music. There's just nothing but praise for this game online. So I'm sure the other people who have played it can probably agree with that. So
I haven't played it.
you haven't played it?
No.
No, but I think you're like from both we were just chatting about before. I think there's like probably some like real insights when you're looking at something like this. Like, because I think one of the other ones we were just talking about was Cuphead as well, and like there was some really good insights into that you said that you kind of went.
Yeah,
to
it's
a couple of
interesting.
things,
But I mean, my being in this job and I've been doing this for 10 years now. I like playing games like this. I sort of. It's kind of like being a magician and knowing how the tricks play. It kind of takes away a little bit of the magic. Like I know how they do a lot of the effects, so it's like it's not real, like the fog or whatever, or the light. The interesting one about this is the lighting. It's not real light. It's not actually lighting anything. It's actually just a big card with a soft texture, soft glow texture that they sit in between certain cards.
Oh wow!
So
cool.
it's kind of like, I mean, you have an animation background, right?
Yeah, so a bit of illustration, a bit of animation.
Yeah, so you know how animation, they use plates, like different plates, different layers. It's essentially the same thing. There's lots of layers of different cards, and they just put in a big additive glow card. So if you know in Photoshop,
it's like layers.
Yeah, in Photoshop you have like an additive or an overlay or something like that, a blend mode. You can do that in, this is made in Unity 3D. What they would have done is had an additive card that just sits in between a bunch of the layers, and that gives the impression that it's lighting a lot of the components in the background.
Oh, cool. So look, I mean, when I look at this, because as we kind of mentioned before, like I have a bit of an illustration background. Like, is that how that would kind of be done? Like, you'd have those layers would be illustrated and stuff.
Yeah. So well, I mean,
designed digitally, or
it's interesting. I mean, if you're talking about the character, absolutely, that's how we do it in mobile games. We'll have they're called sprite sheets.
Oh yeah, okay,
Are you familiar with that term?
No,
so sprite sheets
do every day.
So it's like on the spot, the character is running over and over, and we'll have X amount of frames of that, and we just loop that, and that's how you get a run. So
so it's like if you're like an attack or something like that would have a particular animation.
Yeah, and it's just that. I mean, old school Flash animation is done the same way, but we have to do it on the spot, and then I'm probably talking about my age here. Really
mine as well.
But yeah, it's all animated on the spot. Everything we do in video games, like a good example might be like Spider-Man, the latest Spider-Man game. His run isn't animated forward; it's animated on the spot, and then code drives where he moves. That's how it's done. So the same thing's happening here. He's not animated running forward; he's animated on the spot running. And then design and code have to come up with how fast does he move so that it looks correct and all the rest of it. Same with his jump and everything.
So do you find when you're playing video games, you're seeing it in a completely different light to before you got into the industry? Can you actually sit down and enjoy it, or are you watching this and going, "Oh God, I know how they did that. They should have done this," that sort of thing?
No, not. I don't critique them. I actually have a big appreciation for them. So the two big problems for me is like I'll look at it and I'll get distracted massively for. Either I love what I'm looking at, so I have been playing a lot of Spider-Man, and actually Destiny. I've been playing a lot of Destiny, so I'll go up.
What are you playing on?
PS4.
I think the game code.
So I'll stare in the corner and just look at like the wall textures, or I'll look at how does this texture blend into that texture, or the lighting systems in games. It's mind blowing, and it really interests me. So I really study a lot of the shader work and the lighting systems.
Cool.
And I'll get really distracted by that. Otherwise, the other thing that distracts me is when, and it's small things, but I notice it as an artist that, you know, generally speaking, for the last 5 years, I've had final say in all the products that go out of our studio. So it's like, that has to be perfect.
Yeah.
No one else will notice it, but it has to be perfect. So I see things like texture scenes and like UVs not lined up.
I think that's that's part, like, because it's similar to a role in my job, obviously outside of doing this, is that it's a bit like I look at so people will kind of look at the whole kind of campaign or something, but then with me, I'm just like, it's more the details.
Yeah,
like
it's
like
spot.
I'm like, and you just can't get past it. But I think you have to be maybe a bit OCD. In my case, probably a bit OCD with stuff as well. I'm like, no.
It gets a bit like that. But at the end of the day, like, we have a bit of a rule in the studio. That's it. You get 70%, and then it's done.
Yeah.
And that's not. And it should be like that for a lot of indie studios. I think a lot of people, especially indie Australia, they get very precious. It's a good thing. Like, we export some of the highest quality games in Australia. Like, the indie scene is phenomenal. And I have great appreciation for it, but you need to know when to cut it so that you can, because something that's not talked about, at least not to gamers, is that it's a business. We're doing it for money, essentially, and that's not a bad thing. Another thing in the gaming industry, at least in Australia, I've noticed, is that there's this culture of it's negative or it's taboo to talk about the money side of things, that you should be ashamed to want to make money in this industry. You should got to make games for yourself. You got to have pride in it. Well, yeah, you can have pride in it, but you can have pride because you topped the App Store charts.
Exactly,
lots of people are playing your game, they're exposed to it.
Do you think that comes around though, because I think that, like, just Steam, for instance, like, I think sometimes on there, like, some of the indie stuff that I've seen on there is absolutely mind blowing, you know, like, just a few examples, like, this is an example, you know, like, and, you know, Dead Cells, and obviously some other titles, like quite a few other titles as well. But there are the people that go on there and they just they asset flip like games, don't they, and things like that. Like, you get so I think sometimes there's, I don't know, like, people like, but it's the internet as well at the end.
Well,
like, people want to say
the examples you've given are like very different communities. Steam is more associated with like Reddit or Twitter or something. A game, and this to a certain extent. Mobile games, totally different market. So a lot of people are really upset with, say, the new Command & Conquer game that just launched on mobile. You saw all the blow up. You know the effect that'll have on their sales. Nothing. Won't even touch it. In fact, I have a theory that they do it on purpose, because they did it with Roller Coaster Tycoon as well, and Dungeon Keeper. They took these old, really valued, nostalgic licenses, right? And they did that on purpose. They bought them out, they had those licenses sitting there, they flipped them into these mobile games, which a lot of people, they don't like. You know, it's heavily monetized, lots of ads, lots of IAP and things, loot boxes, all of that. And I think they do that on purpose so that when they launch, you know, their monetization strategy is so brilliant. They're going to make a lot of cash on that because they're going to hit a lot of people, but they're going to really annoy the core people who blow up. It gets mentioned all over the internet, which gets them more people downloading the game. Yeah, exactly.
But then, but I think that, you know, the good thing about mobile games as well, though, like, the other side of that is that that's going to make that game accessible, right? And like, some of those games as well. Like, I mean, I've got a few on my phone that are heavily monetized. I just avoid them. Like, I just don't. I'll watch the ad instead of buying something.
It's the best thing. It's a la carte gaming now. You can pick and choose the parts that you want, and a great example of that. I mean, that's a great example of how mobile gaming has pushed gaming forward everywhere else. You can look for bad examples like Battlefront 2. That was a pretty bad example of what happened. And you can see how, you know, Reddit and Twitter and things like that, and YouTube to a big extent, crippled monetization in that game. It can't happen in the iOS sphere, just because the people that are engaging in that social content aren't engaging with the mobile games. It's a different market. It's like, you don't engage in it.
This is it. I think there's it's totally different with like a game on a PS4. If it gives you a distinct, the reason that there's such a big uproar about that is because there's a distinct advantage. It's pay to win. Like, I don't mind. Like, I'm all for like cosmetics and things, paying for that in a game. But like, for instance, I loved the Shadow of War games. So I bought that, and then 2 days I took off of work to play it, but like there was one bit at the end of the game where if you didn't buy loot boxes, it took you about 10 hours to complete.
They must have patched that out because
It's all free. It's nothing.
So I just ground through the whole thing. Like I found the way around it, which I've done in a few different games. Like, so you let the orcs take over your city,
and then you get it,
and then you just get it back.
So that happened in the last few hours of the game.
Yeah.
It's interesting. There's lots of strategies like that where, like that's a good strategy. You put it at the very end of the game. That would have hit a number of people, and a number of people would have purchased it. So I reckon they would have made some sales off that. Another one is you'll see lots of collector's editions now offering, here's our collector's pack, $150.
Yeah.
You'll get to play it X amount early or something like that.
The biggest thing for that at the moment that there's been a big uproar about is the Division.
Oh, really?
They've got like 7 different
packs.
And one of them is you get it like 2 weeks early, and the reason people are so pissed off about that is because that will give you a distinct 2-week advantage over everybody else, and it's a looter shooter.
Yeah.
So
you will have an advantage.
The best loot. But
unfortunately, this is the way it's gonna have to go. It's gonna have to happen. It's probably going to get worse before it gets balanced, is the right way to say it, because making games now is so expensive for the games that most people want to consume. Your big Spider-Mans and Division 2 and Assassin's Creed, like they're so costly. You've got like 500 people that work on it in some of these titles, and they literally run around the clock. The last Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft set it up so that the last Assassin's Creed was being worked on 24/7 because there was someone in every single country.
That came
as a
out pretty
studio.
well though, right?
Yeah.
Like I started. Well, you're talking about the Egyptian one.
Yeah, that one's really good.
I started playing it,
I like it.
and I haven't. Like, it was really big and open worldy, and I think I just clocked something else that was huge. So I didn't. But I played it, and I was like, do you know what? This doesn't offend me. Like it was all the stuff that they were making money from in the store. Was you could buy weapons and stuff, but you could earn those in game, and I think that's fine. But cosmetics, and I was looking at those suits and I was going, shit, dude, like there's some really cool outfits.
Do you mind if I ask how old you are?
I'm 34.
Cool. So I'm 32. It doesn't really offend me either.
Yeah.
But there are people, our age group is the one that is most hit by that, who are going to be most offended. People that are anywhere between, say, 28 and older, who are really offended by it because we grew up with, you own a product. You don't subscribe to a service, you own a product. And it's slowly moved to subscribing to a service or free and pick the parts you want. And you never really own them.
You look at those games that are like, and we were talking about, I think we talked about this the other week, and I was talking about some of my mates, some of the old Mega Drive games, like, we were talking about the Disney ones, like
Lion King.
Yeah, Lion King. And I just was like, I must have played that for 30 hours, right? But like, I didn't get past like the 3rd level because it was so hard.
But you'd keep playing it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get bored.
No, but they were built like that because if you actually could go from beginning to end, it would be like an hour's worth of gaming, or maybe that's an exaggeration.
I think it's the difference there. But you're saying like they're built that way. They're built really hard, and games nowadays aren't.
Well, I think that it's more with a subscription with something that's what they call it, where you're continually playing, like so.
Like
you're
an
buying,
MMO or?
No, well, just where you keep going. Like there's a hybrid now, isn't there? Like Destiny, for instance, they're constantly bringing out content.
Yeah.
Like Endgame.
Yeah, so something like that as well. People are just like, and I remember playing Destiny 1, and it was like, we want more content, we want so they'd bring something out there, we want more, and we're just like, you're just like,
well,
fuck guys.
Mega Drive, you own a Mega Drive?
Oh, I used to.
Yeah, and that's when you played it, yeah? You would have been like 6 to 8 years old. Yeah,
like
same
that.
for me. So, I didn't have one of these then. My phone.
No,
I'm old my phone. So, no one had that, right? So,
always on, isn't it?
And what's a good example? When I open Netflix now, I spend more time scrolling through, trying to find something and just looking through things. And I know I want to watch those things, but I don't watch them. I just go, I want to watch that, and keep scrolling. Do you guys do that?
Yeah.
That's because we have such short attention spans. I mean, you look at, like, Instagram used to be, you'll scroll down, you'll look at a post, and you'll read it, and then you'll scroll down, and you look at the next one. Now you just scroll like that. Just roll.
Was it Gab the other day was going through his Facebook, and he was literally just going like this? I'm like, how do you read anything?
Yeah.
You can't.
And he's not even looking at it.
And I think you're completely right about that culture as well, because I know right now on my PlayStation at home, I know that there's probably 10 amazing games on there that I really want to play as well.
Yeah.
But I've downloaded, and they've been there for a year.
The point you made before about the Shadow of War, that gating. We call it gating in the industry. So you gate players by, you gate their content by, say, a purchase or something, or a level up. We use it a lot in design. So that gate existed at the very end of the game. And that's because they would have worked out through their analytics. Analytics is huge in the games industry. It's how everything is made. They would have worked out exactly how many players, roughly speaking, based on their sales records, how many are going to hit that point, and then from that, how many are going to make those purchases. So they know that, and I can tell you from our stats that we worked out just on our games, how many players will pick up and play the very beginning of a game versus how many will finish it, or how many will make it through to 10 minutes. So all of our effort goes into the first 30 seconds of the game.
Really?
All of it.
So, because that's the hook, right? Like they'll stay. You
want to hook them and
convert them to like a long-term player or subscriber, I guess.
Sometimes we don't even. This is giving a lot of insight. Sometimes, as iOS developers or mobile developers, we don't even go that far. It can be that what you are trying to achieve is monetization in the first 30 seconds, and that is possible. There are tricks. It's kind of offensive to call it tricks. It's just being very clever with how you treat the player. It's not a negative thing. A lot of people are looking at it as a negative thing.
But do you not think as well though, like I think some of that with the apps, like because a lot of the apps as well, we've got to remember, like you're downloading these things for free quite a lot of the time. Like
is that with a lot of your apps? Are they free to download?
All we do is free. You can, I mean, it is very hard to make it in the industry now if you charge for your apps.
I mean, even they charge like $1 or $2, and I'm looking at them going, I'm not spending $2 on that. It's $2. Come on.
And I totally think that. Like I'm like, if I download an app or a game and I enjoy it, like I'm probably less of on my phone because I love going home and playing my console, and I get in trouble from my girlfriend for being on my phone all the time. But like so if I like something like Warframe, for instance, completely free, and it's buggy as hell sometimes, like, but you go on there, like, and it's got such a dedicated fan base because they've really invested in it, and they've got the thing as well where they let people contribute to it, like they design the armor,
that's cool,
and all that sort of stuff, and they just
community driven,
a lot of it's community driven, and people just absolutely love it to pieces. I mean, again, I can look at that and I can really appreciate it and go, these guys have worked their asses off, and you haven't paid for this game, you haven't done anything to it. I don't particularly like it myself because it's got a lot of repetitive, like it's quite repetitive, and I'm in that place now, like in a younger generation where story-driven games, like open world. After a while, I just go, Jesus Christ, like just get me to something. But you can. I guess my point is, I can really appreciate that. Like that I would invest money in something like that because
unfortunately, it's not about us. Like you think it used to be. The stat was the average gamer is this old. Well, that may still be true that they are 30 to 35 or whatever. But the paying user, or the user who is most valuable, that's the key stat at this point. It's not about how many gamers you have or whatever. It's who is the most valuable, who is actually going to spend money, because we need to generate money. And it's not, when I say that, I mean monetize, not necessarily spend $1, but watch an ad or something like that.
Who would you say is your target market for your apps that you put out?
It depends on the game. It's so varied. I mean, we have a huge marketing dashboard that we have to go through and really target for, figuring out how we're going to do it.
Want.
But it's very even. We target for the broadest possible audience for most of our apps. So, and I think that's why we've had so much success. Like I would have to say virtually every game we've done, I can name at least the past 3 releases we've done have been featured worldwide, top of the App Store on US.
Well, you've got
and
some
Australia.
really cool. I was looking on the site the other day. You've got some really cool IP in there, like that are supporting the apps. Like so, like the characters and stuff being used from different IPs. So
yeah, we do a bit of
cool,
cross-reference.
So
we tried to come up with a franchise for a while, thinking that maybe one franchise can roll into another and another, and therefore they can reinforce each other through marketing. But it doesn't necessarily work on the App Store because and there's a lot to do with this. That game dev isn't just I make the game. That's like 10% of making a game nowadays. If you want to put something on the App Store, 10% of it is making the game. 90% of it is how do you distribute it? How do you market it? Publishers are there for a reason. They obviously provide a service. So getting it on the App Store, getting it discovered, monetization strategies within that game once you do launch it, update plans, having the right connections at, say, Apple or Google or wherever you're launching it.
Yeah, we've tried to get a couple of apps onto Apple, and sometimes they can be a bit of a challenge.
You run into a few problems there.
So obviously your apps are of such a high caliber, like you were saying, they reach the top of the app charts and stuff.
Yep.
Do you find you get a lot of copycats?
Oh yeah, it doesn't affect us at all.
No.
Not even a little bit.
Obviously they're not anywhere near.
It's not about the quality. It's not about the quality of those apps that would affect us. It's about their marketing strategies and their distribution strategies. So, if they use the exact strategy we did, they might start affecting us, maybe. But because
there's probably not, like, people that need to copy that sort of stuff probably don't have anywhere near that sort of
so exactly right.
Copycats are normally just one person, and they'll just quickly mock some assets up, throw it into like some package, put some banner ads in.
It's similar to that sort of asset flip thing that they do on Steam.
Their primary goal with those on mobile is to get an multiple ad watches within the first 10 seconds. That's all they want.
I did see something actually when they announced the launch of Death Stranding. Like within a couple of hours, somebody brought out a mobile app where you go around this like empty space and you're like killing the things that were in Death Stranding. They just called it something different.
Was that the joke one?
I don't know. Like
there was
I saw
a parody one
on IGN. And they were walking around like shooting them, and then it had the big thing in the sky. But it's funny how quickly people latch on. But like, so I guess with something like Hollow Knight though as well, and what was the other one we were talking about that they just were released? They've released a couple of expansions for it as well for free. Was it Hollow Knight or?
Hollow Knight's one of them. They do release.
I think that's what they were Gavin was talking about.
Yeah, they do a lot of post-release stuff.
What was the price point on this one?
It's about $20.
Yeah.
$15, something like that.
The USD on Steam, I think, something like that. 15, 20 USD.
How much on Nintendo?
How much on Nintendo for Hollow Knight?
What do you reckon, Noel?
How much was Hollow Knight? On this. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not bad, is it? And I think when I was watching the review, they were saying because with this as well, it's got that Metroid sort of. So like when you get enough XP, you get a new jump, which takes you to a new secret area and all that sort of stuff. Like so,
basically Ori in the Blind Forest.
But it's cool though, isn't it? Because you're reusing the same maps and the same assets, but there's something hidden there that you can't access until you've got that extra jump or that extra speed thing or whatever. And somebody was just saying when I watched the review for this earlier, because again I haven't played it, but it was like the game's kind of as long as you want it to be. You can either do the story or you can do the exploration and all that sort of stuff as well.
It's done on purpose. A lot of big games do that on purpose because the games are so expensive to make. Even like a game that we might do with only 4 people on it, so expensive to make that you want to reuse as much as possible. So you put layers of player objectives and player goals into the game.
So Sal Chan's asking, what kind of games do PlayStation make? I think we started to cover it, but they might
so I mean, we make arcade games is our primary focus. So has been our primary focus up until maybe 6 months ago. Arcade games are things like your and these aren't our games, but like Crossy Road or something like that. So it's quick paced. Your average game session should last between say 10 to 30 seconds, an average round.
So it's pretty quick then.
Yeah, 10 to 30 seconds, and then every, say, I would say it's about 3 to 5 minute total playtime, and then you turn it off, and then you might come back later. That's the game type of game.
Is that aimed at, so a lot of that stuff would maybe be aimed at people like...
I'll tell you who. You got a girlfriend, yeah?
Yeah.
You gone shopping with her?
Yeah.
So you go sit in the boyfriend chair. The boyfriend chair at the clothes?
No, I'm not aware of the boyfriend chair.
Hey, hang on. What's your level on Candy Crush?
I actually checked it's more than 600.
So we got your prime audience right here.
I have downloaded some of your games and I go back to them. Like, Ghost Pop is incredible.
Yeah, Ghost Pop was great. I mean, that was
really
a big
fun
game to make.
Yeah, and the best thing about your games is it's tap to start. So it's literally
straight in.
You get the home page, you tap, and you're straight into the game.
I can tell you
There's
that's
no
a big rule for us. You have to be in quick, and you'll notice it's the same thing at end of round. The moment you die, if you cannot get back into the game and start again at your convenience within like 2 to 3 seconds, it's no go.
You'll leave,
But yeah, I think it's just one of those things, isn't it, as well, where, I don't know, like I think with a lot of the with a lot of the like games that I've got on my phone, like I think I even tried I tried some longer form content. Like I've actually got like Knights of the Old Republic on my phone.
Okay, so they're like hardcore games.
Yeah,
so
I tried that.
We do like arcade games, or have done arcade games. We're doing AR games now, so we've got AR Dragon on the store. It's just a bit of bragging. It's it's the single most downloaded AR kit app in the world.
Wow.
So
congratulations.
thank you. So what I mean by that is Apple supplies a plugin called AR Kit, and they released it a good 3 months out of shipping their, I think it was iOS 11 at the time, and the iPhone 7, if I'm getting my facts right, because it was all a blur. Very late nights, and so everyone tries to put that in. So Lego got a hold of it, and they make a Lego app where you can build and you know what AR is.
Yeah,
cool. So you put it on the desk. And IKEA got a hold of it. They're the second most downloaded.
So you can put your furniture.
Yeah,
oh my god, that is a dream of mine.
Like saves you the trip to IKEA, right?
Totally. And
but then you don't get the Swedish meatballs. So
you need
well, no, you need the Swedish meatballs.
And then just above those guys is AR Dragon.
Oh, wow.
And we are ahead of them so out of the entire marketplace, like downloads, we take up a third before everyone else, which is amazing.
That's incredible.
So we did that. We've just done an update for it. It should come out in like 2-3 weeks. And we're doing a new product. It's just launched on the App Store. It's featured worldwide. You'll see it if you go to the App Store. It's got a big banner. I'm doing a plug now. I didn't want to do this.
You wouldn't plug.
I didn't want to do this. It's called AR Robot, and it's basically like robots, but a Pokemon battler system.
Oh, cool. Okay.
In AR, you can customize your robot, build out your pieces, and that sort of thing.
That's always pretty fun. Like I think that's something that gets me as well. Is definitely. And a lot of people, as we were discussing on Destiny, is like being able to customize your character, make it your own, and
that's what I like about it.
Like and earn stuff and things like that. So it's pretty cool.
So you were saying you've been in the industry for 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
Obviously, you would have seen heaps of
changes,
technology advancements.
When I started, I was doing games for the original DS.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god!
And
I had Nintendogs, it was my life.
And when I started, I was doing games for that, but the person that was my mentor when I first got into the industry, they had started when they were doing games for the original Game Boy.
Whoa.
They were my mentor, and they were.
So they've seen.
They've seen some stuff.
They've seen it.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for the original Game Boy. That's what I'm waiting for them to release. Like,
mini Game Boy.
So a lot of changes.
Where do you reckon it's going now? Like, how much further are we going to go?
With what? I mean, that's
what
the future of what I'm doing right now is that, it's AR. It's got to be AR, and it's not this thing, your phone. It's whatever the next thing is, and that'll probably be. Right now, everyone's calling it, Google Glasses or
I was going to say the glasses,
the Apple Glasses or whatever. It'll be that, but it'll be so much smaller, so much tinier.
Like a contact lens you can put in
whatever
your eyeball.
it is. Yeah.
The thing that really stood out for me, I know that everyone was releasing the headset, like the PlayStation headset,
VR.
VR. But then the Microsoft one, I don't know if something's happened with it yet, but was that AR, wasn't it? Like where you'd walk in, the game would be if you walked into the kitchen, like or it's, for instance, you could even use it for your diary and all that stuff. Like you're throwing up your calendar and you're swiping through the pages. And
but
stuff,
you can still see the world.
Yeah, but you can still see the world.
So AR. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a really wide variety of applications for that as well.
Yeah, imagine cars don't need dashboards anymore, and you can see heads-up display on your. Just in front of you. Imagine going snowboarding and you can see the tracks down the hill. Awesome. Imagine like we don't need a screen anymore to play our video game. I could just, I don't know if you need a controller at that point. Like you could just see the game whenever you want.
Just control it with your mind.
I mean, classrooms are going to hate that. So. I think that's ultimately the future, and it's why we're so heavily invested in AR right now, because it's really whoever's in on the ground level. We saw that with iPhone. We saw that with. As mobile gaming blew up, whoever's in first, they're the ones that are dominating now.
Yeah.
And we saw that with the original consoles. Who got in first, they're dominating.
I think as well though, I do think and my examples that we use in my industry, if you don't innovate, you die. So somebody I don't know if you guys ever had it here, but HMV or Blockbuster.
Yeah.
So they didn't. They were like, oh, we've cornered the market. We don't need. So they were like, oh, you know, maybe you should invest in like doing this download thing on the internet.
Video easy,
like,
like
what are you
Blockbuster.
talking about? We've got all the stars coming to our stores, and then, you know, where are they now? 20 years later. It's the same with
I think there's one Blockbuster in
There's
Victoria.
one. There's also going to be one in the new Marvel movie as well. Have you seen the trailer?
Oh, really?
She falls through the roof of a Blockbuster.
So, just to remind you, this is set in the 90s.
This is the 90s. Can you get any more
can't miss
90s than Blockbuster? No.
Yeah, well, I guess you got to advance or you get left behind because everything else is so quick these days.
I mean, the difference is, so our min spec when I started, we call it min spec. Our min spec at Playside when I started, this was 4 and a bit years ago, was it would have been the iPhone 4. That was the minimum device, and it was like.
I think I know.
Yeah, they were like
I
a
always
space
get mixed up with the
block.
numbers.
And now the min spec is iPhone 6.
Yeah.
And the difference is, I did a test actually yesterday for a new project we're working on. Wish I could talk about it. I can't.
Not going to plug that one.
It's a 3 version sort of. It's interesting. Anyway, it's quite graphics dependent. And I spent maybe 3 or 4 days going through optimizing the hell out of this thing. Right?
Yeah.
I threw it up on a iPhone X. Beautiful, 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what that means.
Yeah.
Cool. And then I threw it onto the iPhone 7.
Yeah.
60, 6, again 60. The moment I tried a 5, it went to like, I think it was like 16 FPS average. And then I couldn't even install it on a 4. It doesn't work anymore because it's not, you know, it's not 64 bits, not compatible.
Is that just the chipsets and stuff then?
The differences in the chipsets are phenomenal, and we're going to see the same thing. The moment we get far enough ahead, this 7, you will see the difference between the 7 and the 10. It will be significant.
I know, like, I think I did that even on my last couple of phones. Like, I upgraded and then I was just like, I can actually, I don't know if it's in my head, like, between like a 7 and an 8, but I go, this is fast, this is definitely fast.
Yeah.
I think
that's just to justify.
You have to justify the amount of money you've spent on it. Yeah.
So how are you at playing games then? Do you want to test your Hollow Knight?
No, not.
Apparently it's pretty unforgiving though as well.
That's
like,
good.
Yeah.
The last unforgiving game I played was probably Dark Souls 2.
I was going to ask you. I thought you might be a Dark Souls player.
But I only finished it because I was playing with a cousin of mine and he carried me the whole way through.
Oh, no.
So we just kept.
Do you know that
summoning
I went
stuff.
back to try and play that. Like I had it, and then I changed it to PS4 Pro. Lost my saves. Went back. I was on like New Game +4 or something.
Oh my god!
So I went back to it, and I was like, and I had the 2. I was like, I want to replay it because I want to play the D2 expansion that came out for it. And I got halfway through it, and I was just like, fuck this. It's so unforgiving when you're at that level.
It's unnecessarily unforgiving. The thing that I don't play any of those games anymore because a little bit to do with my age. I just can't be bothered dealing with. They're doing it on purpose. And the worst part is the multiplayer. They're doing that on purpose. It's deliberately obtuse because that's their audience wants that. So I can't fault them.
They expect that.
They expect it to be obtuse and hard and unforgiving to use, which it's not a great thing. You can make it a hard game, but just make it easy to use. Like the Pokemon UI or any JRPG, the UIs in that user interface it's a joke. It's like down, into another menu, then down, then into another menu just to select the potion. It's like, why are you doing that? We figured it out.
I remember Final Fantasy VII being like, that was alright, but I tried playing recently and I watched an anime called Sword Art Online. And there were a couple of games came out and I was like, oh, this is going to be good. I played it and I just had no fucking idea what was going on. I was just like, what's happening? Like, and then I was trying to get in menus and stuff, and it just wasn't worth it. Like, and I think I think that comes back to your thing. You know, even on a game on the phone, like I think it's ease of use. Like that can put off somebody who's going to play the game.
Oh yeah, and it will affect your bottom dollar pretty much. So people just need to be able to know exactly what they're going to do the moment they boot it up. It's a big deal in game design.
You shouldn't have to be going onto YouTube to find out how to play a game.
That's a big thing. But again, it depends on the community. Like you have some games, it's a bit different. So PC, it's almost like if you don't release a game that requires you to go onto YouTube to find like how to do things, it's kind of going to flop. Like people expect that, they want that level of whatever it is, you know. Whereas something like consoles, it's a bit of a mixed bag, and then on mobile, it's I just want one thumb, I just whatever, you know, barely playing sort of
and
thing.
be rewarded occasionally.
Yeah.
But I think that's like so you know, like examples like this as well. Like there's
cool.
shitloads of secrets in this that you know, like that you probably won't find unless you watch that sort of video.
Yeah.
And the same with Destiny though. But I think with Destiny, the difference with that is like I watch the videos on like. There's not so many mysteries or hardness in that game. That for me, that's more about the lore and they've really latched onto that with the community. It's like the stories that they're telling. And they do like half-mast truths in like text that's on your armor and stuff like that. So I think there's different ways of doing it as well.
What was the ability you were doing where you got was it a skull back?
That's how I regenerate my health. I won't be able to do it now because I've got full health and no meter.
Does it cost you something?
Yeah, so that meter, I think I'm just getting, it's just like I'm harvesting the souls of the enemies that I'm defeating. So if I defeat these guys here...
What is the story behind this game? Like, who are you, what are you doing?
So I've just got some meter there. So now if I hold it...
I have no idea.
So you're the little
got
bunny
some
rabbit.
Slashing the grass.
From the little I
it's because it's cool, you can do it. That's about the only thing, you can just do it.
That's a very interesting answer. It's
Yeah.
exactly what I expected you to say. So it's a fundamental philosophy for like a lot of games companies. I'm trying to think of a really good example of this one. God of War. If anyone played God of War recently,
Yeah.
The green crystals. If you have full health, you still want to go punch that.
Yeah.
It just feels cool, right?
He's very visceral though, isn't everything he does? You're just like, I want to do more.
The feel-good moments in games, and you'll notice this the most in mobile gaming, it's that you should be rewarded for even the basic. It should feel so good to do something. Just pressing a button, swiping, tapping.
dopamine.
Yeah, you
Dopamine
want that
rush.
hit. And it's like, why are you swiping that grass? It doesn't do anything, but
Yeah,
just
I was
looking
gonna say,
at it looks cool.
Yeah, but why?
looks cool.
Why are you attacking grass? Why is the bunny so angry at grass?
Because
I don't
because
understand.
some artist spent a week
Designing all that
to
grass.
make it look fantastic.
Appreciate the animation. So who is this little dude? What's he doing? Why is he gets harvesting souls? Do you know?
To be honest, don't really know.
You just know
There has been some lore and some storytelling that's been happening as we've been talking, but I haven't been reading it from this far, but
been skipping straight past it.
Oh, here we go. What's this?
this is a shop, unfortunately.
So you're just going to buy some stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see if anybody else.
She's really leaning over that table to you.
What is it?
She's like,
She
like
really
buy
is.
my things.
I need to read this screen to see what I'm buying.
So-
It's ahead shortly.
Huh?
Ahead in 10.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So somebody
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, somebody was just asking, are any of your games like Candy Crush?
Yeah, I guess kind of all of them in a way, but
What would you recommend for our? I can't believe I'm going to say this. What would you recommend for our Candy Crush lovers out there?
we don't really have a match 3 type. I mean, the only match 3 game we've ever done was we did a Kubo game. Do you guys know the movie Kubo that came
Kubo
out?
and 2 strings.
That we did. So we did the game for that. It's a match 3 puzzler, and it's a match puzzler. Grab that and honestly tell me what you think. Leave a comment. Yeah, I'd love to hear what people think of that. I mean, it came out. I think we released that like a year and a half ago now, but we've done patches and updates, and
cool.
the publisher that we worked with is investing a lot into it to drive it up and make it popular again. So
Cool.
Awesome.
if anyone plays that, tell me what you think.
I reckon we got one last question for you then.
Yeah.
Before you go. And I know that it might be saying like, what's your favourite child? But like, what's the favourite game that you've worked on? What would you, if you had to pick one? Your life was on the line. Maybe not your life.
You'll have to talk for a second. Let me think about this.
Okay, so what are you doing in the shop?
I'm just buying what it looks to be some
What are these things
that help me find where I'm actually going.
What
What do you need a pen for?
It's a quill, so I'll guess the map just updates as I go past it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
pretty
to
handy.
like write
We don't
letters
know
or
enough
something.
about this game. So what are those things that you're trading with? Like, are they
I wouldn't know what they are, but it's money.
They look like little brains.
Like grapes.
Grapes,
Something like that.
You can get them from
See,
like.
she's very suggestive,
really
right?
like.
She's like, come buy things at my
answer.
store.
Okay, we've got our answer.
I've got my answer now.
Come
I had
on
to think about it a bit because I love AR Robot and what we did, and I loved AR Dragon and what we did.
Yeah.
But my favourite game I've ever made was called Scooby-Doo and the Spooky Swamp.
Scooby-Doo.
Sounds amazing.
That's a
It was the very first game I ever worked on, and we made it for the Wii, the original Wii.
Oh,
wow.
And I got a it was the very first like video game really that I ever made and finished and completed. And I went out on the Wii and I went into the store and I saw it in a box. And I got
That would have been the best feeling.
I bought it because I wanted my own copy so I could get it framed. I still haven't got it framed. It's on the shelf, but I actually have 2 copies because I didn't realize that if you worked on it, the company would.
Yeah, sure.
I was a fresh little, I'd only been there for 8 months, and yeah, that was the best
incredible.
game.
All right, dude. Well, it's nice.
Thank you for having me here, guys.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
You've given us some really good insights as well.
Yeah, thank you. All right, guys.
Take care. Thanks.
Thanks,
Catch you
Adam.
later.
All right, cool. So, do we want to give Hollow Knight a fresh? I have no idea what's going on right now.
It's the thing though about this game is
Do you need to know what's going on?
No.
It's very much takes the Dark Souls approach of storytelling where it's not very clear what's happening. You kind of just learn about it. So
basically,
you're meant to not know what's happening.
I'm just trying to find the parts of the map that I haven't been.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's basically, that seems good.
Can I have a quick go? Let's see if we're any good at it.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, let's
So you can press up on the D-pad to enter things.
All right, so up on the D-pad.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
I need to, is that not the shop that I've just entered?
No,
Are you back in the
this is
the-
somewhat.
the suggestive
shop.
lady shop?
This is a different shop.
Oh, it's a different shop owner
Maybe it's
now.
Different things. Okay.
I don't have any money anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's all good.
How do you run?
There's only one movement speed. It's just,
You're walking aggressively. That's my sword.
And
none of the buttons
swiping
do
grass.
anything. Yeah. None of the other buttons do anything.
I've
Yeah,
never
not currently.
Yeah, I've never met a rabbit that's so
Is he a
against
rabbit?
grass.
What creature is he?
a Hollow Knight.
A Hollow Knight.
He's a Hollow Knight, right?
I was reading something about you being like in an insect underworld.
That could
Well,
be
the
correct.
shopkeepers
it-
have been.
It looks
bugged.
very.
pretty, yeah.
It looks very insecty. Or
Yeah.
I don't
Have you
know.
done anything?
I'm
with
going to
this
find
bench?
out what this guy is.
That's a
where you-
resting bench. That's
but
similar
you
to a
can-
bonfire. You sit on.
You can also put stuff.
Yeah, I've done that.
Oh, you've done.
I've
it.
equipped the charm,
I'll
yeah,
get off the bench
Yeah.
then.
It acts like a bonfire at the same time. I think you regenerate your health.
Okay.
Maybe.
I just want to I want to find something to kill. How do I find something to kill?
Heaps of grass for you to
Has
swipe.
anybody-
Yeah. See. No, you need a lock for that door. I found that out before.
Okay.
I mean, you need a key for the lock.
Right. So we need to find a key.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody know where a key lives?
Hold down the left.
Oh, I fell down the hole.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'm not dead. Good. All right, let's find something.
If you hold down the left
Oh,
bumper,
Oh, I died. Oh, there you go. Got some money.
hit that rock. That's your money. They're like money rocks. So money grows on rocks.
Make that
Money
money.
grows on rock.
What a world to be in.
I wish money grew on rock. Oh.
It's like if your parents
wow.
ever say
What
money
did you
doesn't
get?
grow on trees,
Yeah,
you can say,
that's
well,
a
money
hit.
grows on
Kill
rocks
them.
in Hollow Knight.
Hello,
So,
friends.
Hello
Gav! How you
Welcome.
going?
How we doing?
there. We say perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
I can't get back up.
So, what's everyone thinking of Hollow Knight?
We're trying to figure out what
I have no idea
what
what's
the
going
little character is.
So,
Oh, here we go.
Right, here we
The
go.
brain.
He's the resident expert. He's here.
this is the.
It's like Google. You go, hey Gav, what's
Gav,
the character
what's
in
this?
this?
Are these
Yeah,
birds
exactly.
trying to kill me as well? Fuck.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I killed their like mum before.
Hollow
Oh,
Knight.
you killed them.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So, it depends how spoilery we want to go with Hollow Knight.
Let's be real.
For a moment, that's
Let's just prefix this with spoilers. If you don't want this spoiled for you, then you should close your ears. Right.
So keep watching.
Hold
Basically,
I'm
Hollow
getting my
Knight.
butt kicked. How do I get more life?
Hold A,
Hold A.
the right one.
Yep.
It's a Nintendo. Yeah.
Oh, hello. Boom.
Keep holding it.
So you're like a life jar, and you can use it 3 times. And yeah.
So who is this little guy?
So this little dude, right? He's a Hollow Knight, and
That's what I
he was,
said.
Oh my god.
Right.
I was
lost
right.
all that life.
so he's actually made out of darkness.
Right.
So what the Hollow Knight's supposed to do is he's supposed to try and fix this world that he's in. So the world that he's in is corrupted by this this infection.
Oh Jesus.
No, it's spread by the Pale King. Oh, well, not spread by the Pale King. So basically, he is supposed to succeed the last Hollow Knight. It's almost like a Dark Souls sort of story.
okay.
So he's supposed to succeed the last Hollow Knight. And basically the story of you, or what you're trying to do right now, is you're trying to get to the Elder Gods. And these Elder Gods, they have the power to seal the Hollow Knight again. So you're trying to find them
Oh god.
and get to
don't.
them and basically try and restore balance and everything. Because
How do I start?
everyone in the world, in this world, has fled.
They've all
There you
left,
go.
They've all left.
except for that guy.
from
Except-
The shopkeeper.
And the shopkeepers.
Apart from the
Except for
shopkeepers
the
and
creepy
everyone
dudes.
else. But
They've got to
you'll see-
make money, Callan. Come on, seriously, they're not leaving their shop.
You'll see that like there's other creatures there as well, but they've all gone normal. Like you would have met if you go all the way to the right.
Yeah, we met.
You would have met this little girl called Mila, and this
Wouldn't have known the name,
Myla,
but
that's
yeah.
a nice name.
and she is just chipping away, just trying to do her job, and the infection eventually spreads so much that she becomes hostile towards you.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Oh,
Bitch.
Yeah.
So
Myla.
So that's very Dark
yeah,
Soulsy.
it's very
Incredibly
Dark Soulsy.
Dark Soulsy.
But
Just
yeah,
like,
No, it's probably
2D
a bit
Dark
more
Souls.
like Bloodborne, isn't it? 'Cause that's a bit more
well,
infection.
Bloodborne's very Dark Soulsy. It's made by,
made
like
by
the
the same
people.
dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The juxtaposition's really cool though. It's got really, really cutesy artwork, you know.
Really
Yeah.
cutesy.
Really like, you know, quite like sort of like nice looking stuff, but then this horrible story about
Yeah.
destruction.
So the
So
really,
it's very
the really
I like
interesting thing about this game is this is
Inspector.
so this is developed by
Shut up.
a company called Team Cherry.
Yeah,
They're
we
Australian.
were talking about them
Yep.
before,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And this game is their first ever massive release, and
who's this?
This will be
their
a boss or an
character,
enemy, man.
the character Hollow Knight, is actually their first design for a character they ever did. So what happened was that these guys went to a thing called a game jam. Do you guys know about game jams?
No, tell me what a game jam is.
So game jam is basically a whole bunch of developers. Could be people who do composing, could be people who do coding, people who do artwork. They all come together, and for like 24 hours, more so 48 hours, they all try and create a game with the theme.
Ah.
So the guys from Team Cherry ended up meeting each other there, and they made a game called I think it was Cherry Knight or something like that.
Right.
So this dude here, Hollow Knight, that was their character, and all you had to do was
shit,
go
that was
around and
smart.
collect these cherries.
That's cute.
So then they named Team Cherry. And they kept on going. So it was really, really cool.
Oh, that's a really nice story.
Yeah.
And kind of amazing that they've made this game and it's got so much history
Oh.
for them as a...
Yeah, exactly. So this game only took
You can
this game
hold
took
the
them
A button.
2 and a bit years, and it got kickstarted.
You can hold jump,
I'm dead.
and you jump a lot higher.
Go on, you're probably better at playing this than I am.
I'll
Wait,
play
wait.
because you're talking. Heard a lot about it.
Yeah. So this game,
It was a kickstart.
it was a Kickstarter game, and probably one of the most successful ones as well.
Hey,
Right.
How we doing?
it's one of our crew.
So yeah, this was in production for about two years, bit over. Just got released on the Switch maybe about 2 months ago. It had a PC release. The awesome thing about this is they've updated the game 3 times with free DLC.
Yeah.
So you're coming back to the same game for $15 more and more content, and it's just the same awesome stuff, and they've just added on extras, and it's
Cool.
just one of the best designs.
The
And
maps
sort of
are-
like how, how these developers are looking more progressively and, trying to service the customer, and just trying to,
Isn't
build their
this-
passion into this game.
Yeah,
Hasn't
yeah.
there's been an expansion to this, hasn't there?
Yeah. Gods and Glory, I think it's called, the latest one, and that just got released, I think, last week.
Right.
Let's just see if we've got anything.
Yeah, so yeah, Gods and Glory is the most recent update, and it's on Switch, it's on PC as well. And yeah, these guys, these Australian dudes, are made by three guys basically. So one's more of a composer, and the other 2 are programmers and other stuff. They also got some artwork done for them as well. So
Yeah.
I was watching an interview with them not too long ago, and they were just saying how they've got like people to come in to do some artwork for them, because if you have a look, the art design of this game is incredible. Like how detailed the background and
Yeah,
the environments
especially
are.
the background, yeah.
It's just awesome, and they've got this cool, unique.
Gotta get on that platform.
Character
Oh,
art.
Who's that?
So when you die,
So,
a bit of your
yeah.
darkness comes out,
I was about
and
to say,
you
I
need
wanted to see what this was.
The darkness is kind
Kill
of
the
like...
darkness.
Yeah, I'm scared of it.
Kill it.
I'm getting get on.
They're kind of like Dementors.
Almost in a way, yeah. So what happened was you died, and your jar actually shattered. So that means you could only fill your jar 2/3 of the
So
way.
much, right.
So I needed to
Kill
do
your,
that.
So you needed to do
Okay,
that.
that was good. Nice. I just wanted to see what that thing on the
So
map
they
is.
suck the happiness out of you.
So now I'm gonna go up.
It is. It's very grim.
reminds-
I think
grim
the
story.
storyline's
It
pretty...
reminds me of a little bit of that game where you were the shadow of a boy in it. I can't remember.
Limbo?
Limbo.
Limbo,
yeah.
yeah. Isn't that about a boy that's dead?
Something like that,
Basically, yeah. You're in
Well,
limbo.
you're in
And
limbo.
when
Yeah,
you- when
limbo's
you-
just
when
like the
you
world,
complete it, you have
isn't
to
it?
start it again. There's
Yeah.
a little boy hanged or something.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's about being in limbo, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty grim.
It is very grim, but I've kind of gotten tired of a lot of games and even movies that the happy ending cliche sort of.
Really?
Happy endings,
Yeah.
for sure.
Why? What's wrong with you?
It's not that.
I want to be able to think.
It's unrealistic some of
You
the
see a
time.
happy ending movie and it's like, oh, that's great, oh, it's all sweet. But then you watch something that makes you feel sad at the end, and it's like you go back and you think about it, and it's like, oh. Well,
Yeah, but it shouldn't be making you feel sad for
No,
A happy ending
No,
is
it should-
just.
no, it should be called a story.
Yeah.
That's the thing, but I feel like there's so many, like look at this good resolution sort of thing. Well, that doesn't actually happen
Yeah, and I
all
think-
the time.
And I think a lot of the time that, you know, like quite often their films and games, they try to make them with a darker ending, but like when there's a publisher or somebody involved, like they'll turn around and just say no.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing as well. And you can't really try and make a dark story for the sake of making a dark story.
Yeah.
It's got to fit.
Like it's got to fit to context and everything like that as well. And these guys have absolutely nailed it. So they did design the game first and design the world originally, and then they put
Okay, so that's just
text to it and made the story.
Oh.
And when they had to translate this game into Japanese, it ended up being like a 5,000 page document of just pure script, and they had to translate that, and it took them hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
So it's gone the approach of, I think I was saying last week how the story is not directly given to you, it's actually hidden in text, like the Grimoire cards from Destiny. So it's all about, you know, reading everything you can, going in and talking to everyone you can, and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a darker, you guys are probably
unlucky.
too
That
young
was
to remember,
annoying.
like a darker Alex the Kid. Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's essentially.
You need to go
So
through there, down there.
you go down and all the way to the right.
There you go. That's what we needed. We needed some direction.
I've played
little
way
thing
too many
I
hours
can-
of this game.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
game was
come on,
on
man.
the top seller on the Nintendo eStore for about 2 months.
Wow.
The #1 spot, and rightfully so.
There's a little slot up in
It is probably one of the best games I've played in the past.
Really?
If you had
Past
to
10
pick
years.
between this and Dead Cells, what would you pick?
This. This by a huge margin.
Why do you like it so much?
The art design, the characters, the music. The music is one of the best written scores I've heard
Wow,
in
okay.
a long time.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Written by a guy called Christopher Larkin, who's another Australian dude, and he composed this pretty much all by himself. You can actually listen to it now if you go on Spotify. So if you go on Spotify, check out the Hollow Knight playlist, and one of the favorite ones is the actual Main City Dirtmouth that has one of the best piano melodies I've ever heard.
Oh.
Yeah,
Is
and-
the sound coming through to Twitch?
yeah, Twitch will be getting sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
Crossed.
can enjoy.
So they're
Yeah.
enjoying it. I
Yeah.
hope they are at least.
Yeah, and each environment as well has its own sort of unique taste to it. You got like your lush gardens, and then you also have like
Where
we're
you
in the
can cut the
caves.
grass?
Yeah, you can cut
All that
the
kind of
grass way more.
It's grass
Um,
simulator.
Yeah.
And then you go to this one place called the what was it? The City of Tears, and there's just this beautiful
Oh, fuck.
soundtrack going through the whole entire thing, and it's just so ambient and just the texture of everything
I didn't
just
see that.
fits together.
Come on, mate.
The
Don't
City
let
of
the sun
Tears.
down.
City of Tears.
Is there anything hopeful about this game at all?
Yeah, no, I just
The
like,
little
oh,
guy.
yeah.
He's-
The little
he's
cute
the
guy at
hope.
start.
Yeah,
The
that's,
little rabbit.
That's pretty much it.
He's
So-
got a skull for a head.
The little Hollow Knight.
It's pretty
He's the hope.
depressing. I'm gonna have to go home and like watch YouTube videos of rainbows or
And
something.
happy puppies.
But yeah, this
Yeah, happy puppies. Watch some puppy videos.
Yeah.
Oh god, there is meaning to life. or get on Destiny and like put some nice shaders on my character.
Start dancing.
Just dance around Destiny. I don't know. I feel like anything little is cute. Like this guy's pretty cute.
He's also mass murdering all the darkness.
About to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
everything
rightly
inside,
so.
yeah.
They're evil.
Fair
they
point.
might just be trying to do their job.
Yeah.
Like, have you not seen Austin Powers?
Are we putting people out of work in this game?
These guys are just happily, you know, like protecting their little hole, and you're going along and murdering them. This is despicable.
Shouldn't have been in the hole.
Shouldn't have been in my hole, bitch. Oh no! Oh, there you go. Cut that grass.
But yeah, there's so much detail in this game that I think that even with a lot of games that there's things you don't realize, that the main colors here are blue, and every enemy has the shade of red, and that's the direct color opposite. So internally, without even thinking, you're like, oh, I got to attack that.
You know exactly what
You know
to do.
exactly what to do, and even though the game doesn't tell you exactly what to do, you got this natural sort of
The
instinct.
instinct. Yeah,
And
of
they've
course.
nailed this completely.
It's amazing how much you can go into the detail of appreciating all the hard work that
Yeah,
people
exactly.
put into these games. It's pretty
Especially
impressive.
something that looks hand drawn like this to me. I always find that that's like, you just feel like so much effort's gone into it.
It feels more passionate.
Yeah.
It feels like,
I
it feels
think
like
so.
more soul.
Especially when you
Quite
know that,
eclectic.
especially when you know that 3 guys made this game.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. It's nuts.
And also goes to show you that a simple design doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a bad design.
No.
Yeah.
So the character is seriously almost just 3,
doing.
just like 3 pieces: is a sword, and the cloak, and his mask, and that's it.
It's about the gameplay though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all about the
Well,
gameplay,
this
and
poor
that's
dude-
also
this
another
little-
thing they
this
nailed
little
as well.
dude here's just trying to jump around and you've just murdered him.
He jumped on me head.
Is that a cat?
Yeah, what are you doing there?
This thing.
So he's
it gives
attacking an
me
idol to get more
juice.
soul out of it.
Okay. So it is souls we're collecting. Right. At least we've established.
Literal soul.
What
Yeah.
does he do with the souls?
Yeah.
So he uses them to heal.
Yeah.
Well, so he's consuming souls.
He's
So
consuming
he's
souls.
kind
yeah.
of
So
his
it's-
own form of a Dementor.
Almost, yeah.
You are the bad guy.
So he's
Oh,
like
no.
the bad guy.
You
to
actually-
like,
You actually,
Harry Potter, the latest movie, confirmed.
in the end of the game, or near the end.
No, we don't know. We want to play the end of the game.
Nowhere near, but it explains heaps about this character and why he looks the way he does.
That's cool.
oh, okay.
Okay.
And we obviously don't want to give
Don't want to give all that away.
No.
all
I
that
might
away.
just go and watch a YouTube like Hollow Knight in 3 minutes or something like that.
You wouldn't play it?
Skip the game.
Nah, this game, honestly, you
This
have
ain't-
to
this
play
doesn't
it.
interest you?
I'm not keen. No,
Why not?
I wouldn't play it. It's just not my bag.
Not
Yeah.
your bag.
Nah,
Yeah, you honestly.
What's
have
not
to
doing
play
it
this
for
game.
you though? Like,
just everything.
fair enough. You're allowed to have that opinion.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my goodness.
No, I don't know. Like I just I can see like. Do you know what really gets me now though? Having to read text in a game just gets my fucking nerves.
That's the thing, you don't have to read text in this game at all.
Well, if I want to know what's going on, I do, because it's all nobody's speaking to me.
No.
Nobody's telling me the information.
The shop
If I
lady
wanna
was
know
keen
the
to have a
lore
chat
behind
with
this
you.
Game, I've got to read. You just said there's like 5,000 pages of text.
Yep.
As soon as you said that, I wanted to kill myself.
I reckon I've only read maybe. I didn't
don't
read
even
much.
buy books anymore. I just get them all on Audible. That's how lazy I am. I'm just like flicking pages. That's for mugs.
It's the reading of the future, really, isn't it? Audiobooks.
Yeah.
How do I get?
Go left.
Have you clocked this?
Yeah.
I'd pay.
I've 100%ed the game, and then
How long did it
Hey,
take
you.
you?
That's
I give you
dedication.
I give you $10
first
to read this
playthrough?
game for me.
maybe
Wait,
about
wait. So you've finished the game more than once?
yes.
Right.
First playthrough 40 hours, and
Oh my
then
god. Good
Yeah.
God in heaven.
40
How
hours.
do you know 40 hours?
Because it tells you normally.
Oh, it tells you.
Most of the
I
time,
thought maybe
yeah.
you were like sitting there going, okay.
Because you,
stop.
you stop playing and you go, what day is it?
that actually did happen. As soon as it released on Twitch, I remember like looking at my phone. I'm just like, it's
No, and I said,
it's not 5 a.m. I don't need to work in 2 hours. Like,
God, Gavin.
oh god, the amount of time that's happened. I don't know, like the thing is, like I'd probably give this a go, but like I know that I would not invest enough time.
You're not
to complete
investing
it.
40
Like,
hours
but I
in.
can, like, don't get me wrong, like the guys have done an amazing job here. Like it looks amazing, the graphics look cool. I'm sure I would enjoy getting all the powers
find
and stuff
something.
like that. But like, it just doesn't grab me. Like, and I think it's the
there's another spot
repetitive
ahead.
nature of having to go back to levels and things like that. I think I'm like a bit over that. I think like Dark Souls burned that out of me years ago. Like, like completely. Like I remember getting halfway through Bloodborne and just being like trying to get past a bit where something was just firing arrows at me, and I was just like, "Fuck this!" Like, and I just stopped playing.
this game is definitely one of the ones where you have to pick it up, play for a bit,
I jumped into
and it
it.
just sucks you in
What a legend.
so
I
bad.
just played it for a bit, and I
You just couldn't.
hated everything.
Hated it.
I was just like, I've got
Strong
no
words,
idea
man.
what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'm collecting little brains and going to shops. Like, I just had no interest in it.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. I think it's pretty
Exactly.
fun.
Well,
I'm
that just
actually
goes to show you that
enjoying
like the
myself.
amount of diversity
Is that where I need
that comes
go?
to like a consumer and a gamer as
Totally.
well. Like you
It's
can't please absolutely everyone.
Yeah.
As much as a game might be a high score, that might not be for you.
Yeah. I mean, I can.
They're
There's
gonna
things
up one
about
up.
it that I can definitely appreciate, but I just wouldn't play it or buy it or recommend it.
Oh, that's great.
So, where are we going? Like, what's the mission? Who are
There's just a part on the map I haven't been to.
Okay, cool.
You've gone back like twice now and you still can't get through.
I feel like we're going around in circles.
Come on, Gav, tell us how we do it.
He's going the right way now.
Oh, he's going the right way
He's
now.
going the right way
Oh,
now.
so you literally have to go all the way back.
It's just
You're not going back at all.
It's trial and error basically. I've just been all the places that I haven't
There's a
been.
linear
Yeah.
path, and it's probably you probably can't see it too well on this TV.
It's not like some people apparently.
You're like, oh, another game. You see, but then I would also, a boss, kill the boss. Yay, a boss, something to do.
Get him, get him.
I would very much, maybe it's just because somebody else is playing and they've been running around in circles, but like, I don't know, like, maybe if I looked at that map and I knew where I was going and I went straight there, like this would appeal to me.
That's all just more play the game itself.
It is. There's also a thing, and there's a gem in this game.
Yes!
No, that's
No, it's just
that's not a boss.
harder and
He's just a big termite.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and if you haven't noticed, every single enemy NPC is based off a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did see that in the video.
Wouldn't want to come across any cockroaches.
I think there's a few in this.
Oh, really?
They explode.
Oh,
I thought they were
Exploding
like they
cockroaches.
wouldn't die in a nuclear
sounds like
bomb
a
or
day in my
something.
kitchen.
They haven't died to the infection, so there you go.
Yeah, they are
So I
dry.
think Aiden's
This looks like a
approaching
boss
the
room.
second boss.
This
He
looks
needs to
like a
go up to his
Yeah.
right.
There you go. Glad we got somebody in there.
I kind of wish there were more people to interact with. Like,
Well, that's
I think that's the-
that's
I
the
think
premise.
that's the thing,
That's the
it's
premise of the
that's
game.
It's very
It's
solemn,
really
very
sparse,
Right.
isn't it? It's very sparse.
It's
like why don't you just have a conversation with these guys?
I just wonder whether
Like-
Watch
Because-
how he converses with
Because look,
I
he
just-
really wants to have a conversation.
Sal Chan says she's really into that shopkeeper. Lol. That shopkeeper was putting it out, mate.
She's pretty
like, I tell ya.
promiscuous. Yeah.
She was like,
It was all
"Oh,
over
you
that
want
table."
my wares?"
oh the gem.
Yeah.
The gem one was like,
Oh, I give you a very good deal.
Very good price.
Oh Jesus, that was
Oh, he's just running away like a bitch.
looks like your bigger brother.
he's the false
Oh.
knight. So you find out more about him towards the end of the game, but he's actually a very important character.
We're not going to find out anything about him because you're about to
I was about to say, we're about to fucking kill him. Nah, kill him. Where's the optimism? Yeah, don't stand still when he's
Yeah,
doing
don't when he's trying to hit you. What you have to do is move.
Yeah, you got to run away.
Not to tell you how to play the game or anything.
Yeah,
but,
not to
know,
tell
just,
you like that you're shit at this game or anything, but like just.
I'm
don't get
just,
time to get hit.
I'm just reading him right now, so now I know basically all that he's going to
Right.
You know his moves.
do. Yeah,
Does that
I mean
mean
he
you
has
can't fucking
two.
read or like?
Basically.
Come on, mate. Come on. I would be over him last time this by now. Like, I would. He'd be dead.
Yeah, you would be
Right,
dead.
because you would have
No, I would have. I would have been like, this game's easy. Okay, you're dead.
No, I missed the hit. No, fucking, I'm done. Like,
Is he dead? Is that
No,
it?
it'll be like another thing
Oh
I
yeah,
have
this
to.
is sad.
Ha!
Okay. Beating the
He
shit out of
fucking
him.
beat
Don't
him.
while he's down.
That poor guy. Leave him alone.
What do you mean? He's
And
alright.
he's had a second life.
He's like, look, dude.
Oh,
I showed you my vulnerable side and you fucked with me. I'm gonna own you.
and this game does get super hard towards the end.
does your character evolve through the game?
You can actually, well, you get.
Tweelix says Aiden's eating that mace. Aiden does nothing but eat mace.
Hey.
But yeah,
In a very
your
structured
character, you get power ups.
Yeah.
So you always have those power ups, but you can also equip these things called gems. So gems do different things to your character. Like they might make you attack faster, they might make you be able to move faster, all this other sort of stuff, and you can kind of make a build out of it.
No, not this bit. This
Curb
is
stop
like,
him.
This is horrible.
Curb stop him.
dude,
best
like
part.
you're not filling your jar anymore. You should have healed.
It wasn't a waste.
It's a waste of abusing that.
It was a waste of abuse.
How do you know?
Checking
How do you
stats,
know how
guys,
much life he's got?
You don't.
You don't.
You just keep going.
I need to get on the other side.
Classic sort of.
Oh
Jump
my
on.
god! Stop! Could you just stop?
The
failing?
ending of this fight is going to make you feel really bad.
Oh,
Like,
good.
really
I'm so
bad.
glad. That's why I buy games.
Yeah, exactly. To feel sad.
Really,
Yeah,
really bad.
really
about
depressed.
myself.
Yeah.
Alright guys, we have a new follower. Pablo Fizzo has followed.
Nice.
And we have a $5 donation.
Ooh!
And that wasn't at any cost, we didn't have to do it. You know how last week they were like, I'll
Last
donate
time they
$5
wanted
if
a
you
date,
take your beanie
yeah.
off. Someone was nice enough to just
Oh,
donate. So
wasn't it a date as well? The beanie
yeah,
was
there
a
was a date on the line as well, so.
They put a note.
I see you,
go.
kid.
Here we go. Watch this.
Oh no.
So on the donation,
Yeah.
it says,
You got to jump down.
here's a question.
Yep.
Fuck, marry,
Oh.
kill. Hollow Knight, Shovel Knight, Meta Knight.
Oh.
Alright, let's go around the table.
Go Aiden.
Aiden,
Aiden,
what
go
do you
first.
reckon?
Jeez.
Oh my god.
It was Hollow Knight,
Did you
Shovel
just
Knight, and
murder
who?
that
Meta
dude?
Knight.
Yeah, and he's
Meta
just
Knight.
casually talking to the rest of us while he's doing it.
I'd kill Meta Knight.
His
Definitely
little
don't like
legs
him.
on arms, the
Yeah.
fucker.
Yeah, I know, right?
I reckon I'd marry Hollow Knight.
Sick fuckers make this game.
I reckon, and then I'd, what was it? Shovel Knight, and then I'd
Shovel
fuck
Knight.
Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
You'd fuck Shovel Knight.
Yeah, because he's got a shovel.
Sorry?
What's that mean to me?
Explain.
What would be happening with the shovel?
Elaborate how that comes into the equation.
It's just a
Kids
good.
these days.
I know about you guys, but I've always wanted to fuck a shovel. Like,
Oh my god.
It's just like, go away, Knight. I'll just take your shovel.
Basically,
did you want the blue shovel or the pink shovel?
the pink one.
The pink one?
Yeah,
shovel.
yeah, pink shovel man. 100%.
I think I'm on the same with you on that as well. Definitely marry Hollow Knight. Like, do you see all
Yeah,
the trauma he goes through? Don't you want to just cuddle him?
Hollow Knight's gonna suck
He's
out his
just
souls
like a
and
cute
use
man
it to
that-
heal himself.
I'm okay with that. Do you see how cute he is?
He's pretty cute.
Yeah. Well, I
cool.
don't. I haven't
Go
played,
left,
I haven't
yeah.
played
Yeah, yeah.
any of those, so I don't know.
I haven't played any of those.
Meta
Missing
Knights.
out.
Oh, we've got a bit of conflict
You
here.
played Smash?
What's the conflict?
People are saying obviously kill Meta Knight, and then
Yeah.
Weird
Yeah.
Guys
Yeah.
Nights are saying marry Meta Knight. Purple
Who?
Love
Who
Heart.
said marry?
Ooh.
Weird,
Oh,
Five Science.
Weird science.
Weird Science.
Marry Meta Knight, you reckon?
Purple Love Heart.
That's pretty meta.
No,
Nah,
not gonna happen.
not gonna happen. Nah, you're not gonna get me through that one.
He's my least favorite
Yeah, you get
character.
Kill him. Fuck him, honestly.
Yeah, he's my least favorite character in
Useless
Brawl.
fucking character.
That's about
Never
it.
mind. We're all on the same page now. I can appreciate that.
Oh,
Yeah.
what have you done? You've opened a door.
That's probably a good thing.
What's that? Is that a video cassette?
It looks like.
I thought it was that too.
Is that VHS? Do you guys even know what VHS
Sorry
is?
if I missed you. If you're
Oh,
feeling
you
blah,
fuck
blah,
off.
blah.
Oh my god.
It's not my fault.
Who is
Let's
Why
go
not? Why
What are
not?
you doing?
into Twitch.
I thought I was in there.
Wasn't that Twitch?
Yeah, it was all dudes. Somebody just logged on to Jason's porn and it was all dudes. Somebody was sucking on something, mate, and it wasn't any fun. Nobody was having a good time.
Got a mate called
Nobody was
Pedro. Or... Who's Pedro?
Oh, hello.
Map.
Hello.
Oh.
But that didn't get completed. Did I?
Just-
oh no, I gotta go.
Okay,
to
so hold on. Somebody
top
said,
left,
I'd
top
rather
right.
marry Ganondorf.
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 Ganondorf. You don't know who
They-
You don't know
Ganondorf.
Ganondorf.
Don't know Ganondorf.
You're the
played
oldest
any
one
games?
here.
No,
You don't know who he is.
I played grown-up games. With
Oh.
grown-up.
You played grown-ups and you've never played
Yeah.
a Zelda
I played
game.
grown-ups. No, I played grown-up games.
Yeah, I play Call of Duty. It's a grown-up game. I swear, boys.
Have you
Never
played? You played
never
Zelda?
Never played that. But no, Zelda's also for children.
What?
No, I just haven't got a Switch yet. So
Oh, you got to get the Switch.
yeah, I do. I'm actually going to get one for Christmas. I'm going to get I'm going to get it for my girlfriend's son. So that's for him, but it's really for me.
Someone wrote,
Going?
"Wow, beard. Wow,
Oh.
disappointed."
Well, what can I say? Teach me how to play it, and I'll play it.
It's
mate.
your secret admirer.
Yeah.
They always come on
Yeah.
every stream.
That's
I think it's you. Is that secretly you?
Yeah.
I cannot confirm or deny those rumours.
I'm just jealous of the fact because I cannot grow facial hair. All I want
You get the
Do you want me to shave this off and we can glue it on?
that would actually
Shit, beard.
probably be
Sharing.
terrifying. Let's not do that. I appreciate the thought.
Sorry, you got a few more years. It might fill in.
Yeah, wait till I hit puberty and then I'll be good.
I don't have a beard either,
He's
so
really,
I can
he's
make
really,
it
he's really a 12-year-old boy. He's just big for his age.
Apparently so.
Hey, Callum, I'll give you $5 if you voice crack on stream.
Absolutely not.
I feel like it happened last time
Shit
though.
for free.
Callum! Play Hollow Knight.
Hi guys, I'm here to play Holiday.
Every single time we're in Discord or we're playing a game and he does it, I just...
You're just a big bunch of bullies.
Come on,
Basically.
guys,
Right,
let's
whatever.
keep it
Are you
friendly.
gonna go home to cry yourself to sleep?
Maybe.
Maybe you can do beer hands again.
Yes, yes.
Beer hands.
Okay,
Beer
you can't
hands
go
and
up there.
Zach's.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we horribly murdered one boss. What's
Two.
next?
I've
Two
murdered
bosses,
two.
please. Two.
You were talking to Adam while I killed the first one.
Oh, right. What
So,
was the first boss?
It was
How
a
did I
bee.
miss that?
It was like a
Big
queen
bee?
bee. Yeah.
That's how exciting this game is.
just
I
been-
was completely disconnected from the boss. I'm sorry, no, I actually really love this game.
Hey guys, you're the expert. We were trying to work out what exactly the currency was. Can you tell us?
Geo.
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 So it's just like
Like
money.
gems.
Made up.
Like gems and rocks, yeah.
Oh.
It's a pretty depressing looking rock. I guess that just fits.
I guess it's a
this
pretty,
game, right?
yeah, the
I
trend.
don't spend my day looking at rocks, so
That's a good point.
So can I go?
you need to go back where you came
Oh
from.
my God.
Don't you
Because
have
you
Backtracking.
walked
Best
walked
mechanic in
past
any game.
it because
Come
you
on,
need to go
boys,
up.
Getting at the same
I
level
went
5
up. You
times
told
in a
me to
row.
go down.
I didn't
man.
tell you to go down.
Come on, ladies.
No, I gotta go all the way back.
Where are we going?
I see what you mean about like going back and forward a lot.
Yeah.
And just because Aiden doesn't know where he's going.
Oh,
Basically.
well, he hasn't spent.
No, that's the
He hasn't
mechanic.
clocked this twice, so.
No, that's
No, it's just-
so there's a really old bunch of games which a lot of these games have copied and not copied. They've kind of used the same tactic, and it's obviously there's quite a small studio made this. So the most economic way to build a game like this is to have unlockable areas.
Yeah,
So
right.
so you got one big map, but some parts of it you can't get to because your jump isn't high enough, or because you need
Right.
a speed thingy to get somewhere, or something like that. And then as you power through the first couple of levels, you get a jump.
Yeah,
and you can
right.
get to the second tier area. And then
So as
after
you
you've done all
advance,
the
you can-
second tier areas, you'll get a speedy jump. And then you can get to the third tier area and shit like that.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
So you're just recycling the same environments, so they don't have to draw shitloads of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Fair
this
enough.
is a
It's more
pretty-
economical for them, I suppose.
These are pretty big maps though. Like
This-
you're saying
this
there's
map is
three-
huge.
You're saying there's three different environments? There's,
Way more than 3.
Oh.
There's about, I think, 10.
yeah. I like
And they
it.
all
I always
span
like
sizes.
I like to do a low ball, you know, just to test you on your Metroid.
Need
your
help,
Hollow
Dave?
Knight.
Wah.
No, I'm good.
So
We got this.
what's the
Okay.
next harmless boss that we're going to abuse and murder?
Harmless.
Yeah.
You can try and see if you can kill the.
Dude, if we hadn't invaded their land and tried, like, it's basically, you know.
We're going to be invading lands soon.
We've invaded their home. Like, of course they're going to want to defend themselves, like any red-blooded
Same
American
person,
would want
yeah.
to do.
Well, essentially, what's happening here is that you're in your home, but everyone's gone crazy because of this infection.
How do you
So-
know they're crazy?
Technically, it's
Because
our.
they're trying to kill you.
Yeah, because you've invaded their land. You can't call them crazy. Like
But you-
that's
didn't
that's
they-
like-
You are
that's
part of their
that's
land.
like saying the Native Americans were crazy because they wanted to live in America.
Alright, we just got real political, guys. Did this become a political show?
What was that?
I feel like you've got some like built up anger on that
Dude,
topic.
because
Is there something you want to say,
Hollow
Steve?
Knight is murdering people in their own land.
He is a person from this land, and
Right.
everyone's trying to attack him and kill them, and they are so
Well, maybe
sick. They're like zombies,
Maybe
essentially.
it's not something's wrong with him, not wrong with everybody else.
No, there's nothing wrong with him.
Do you have
How do you
ethical?
know?
Yeah. Well, if you play more of the game, you might find out.
So, do you have ethical problems with any other games? Then,
No.
like you seem very passionate
What's
about
that?
this
Oh,
one.
that is fucking annoying.
Oh, that you
All I had to do was get that stupid
But
bullshit.
You didn't pick up something that you needed to progress in the game.
It's
Oh,
fucking
dear.
dumb.
Hmm.
I'm dumb, but I'm still dumb.
And now you need to go
So-
up.
so what's-
Oh, look at that, you discovered it.
Yeah,
What's-
well now
what's
it's all
the,
lit up because I've actually done the fucking thing that it wanted me to do.
That would have been there anyway.
So the things that glow, just for future reference, you should pick up.
Man, you couldn't
Fuck
even
you,
like get
man.
past some fucking
you.
spikes.
I was trying to jump to
That was a hard
platform.
boss.
Fucking stationary objects is the hardest part of the game.
Platforming's super hard.
Fuck that thing, they can't attack me. I'm gonna worry about this twig on the floor.
There were spikes.
Oh, snail.
Actually. Do you want to read this?
Oh, come
No,
on.
so
Some
you
of us want to
want
know the story.
Yeah.
Say no more, friend. I'm going to give you a gift, a nasty little
Bet she
spell of my own creation. It's just perfect for a little one like you. Do I keep saying how little he is?
Yeah.
What are
I
they
hate
giving
being
me?
told I'm little. It's annoying.
Who doesn't hate being told?
So Aiden just collected
Oh,
his
hello.
first
I got wings.
power up,
Oh, awesome.
No, just
but he got knocked out in the meantime.
Oh.
So you unlock the Vengeful Spirit, which is the first sort of magic
Tap A
ability.
to unleash the spirit spells. Will deplete soul, replenishing soul by So I can't really read it off that
By
one.
killing people.
But I can still play the game off this monitor.
Innocent people.
Oh, the snail man.
Sick people.
Oh, Snail Shaman. Why
You
did
woke
knock
up.
you?
Sorry that I drugged you.
I was about to say, this game is fucking dark.
Yeah. Sorry that you woke up in my bed.
Throwback to the good old Metroids. That's it.
Yeah,
This
that
game is everything that,
It is so good.
like, even Axiom Verge. I need to start playing that as well. I've heard that's an absolute awesome Metroidvania sort of clone as well. And even Shadow Complex.
Can someone hit me up?
Can we get a new beer hand?
Resident Evil.
Any
Beer-
ciders in there?
Beer break. So you
Uh,
and do a
Any
little dance
ciders?
for them
Yeah,
whilst
do a
the
little
beers
dance.
are
Did you get decided? Yeah.
Whoa! That's my dance.
Is that your beer dance?
That's
my
a
beer
dad,
dance.
That's such a dad dance.
It isn't that dance. Oh, yeah.
You floss.
Can I floss?
That was cool.
Can someone donate $5 to get him to floss on stream?
What's a floss?
What?
What's a
Oh!
This is a controversy.
No.
Oh, come on.
I got it. No, I know. I know what it is.
Oh, here we
No,
go.
I don't
Don't
want
give
to
it
look.
away for free.
I'm not.
It's a dance.
Just adjusting, you know?
Yeah.
I gotta make them tempted, you know?
Right, okay.
The
Show
floss
them the
is
tools you'll be
iconic.
using.
Yeah, that's it.
The tools
That's it.
you'll be using. Oh yeah, I should use my new spell, but I don't have spirit souls.
Oh, come on. It's telling you use it.
I don't have spirit. I
You
can't.
can smack them with your needle.
We got spirit.
Is
Yes,
it
we
needle?
do. Aiden's gonna kill these.
Mosquitoes.
Oh,
Oh,
my goodness. What was that?
oh, that's the wrong.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's like an
Oh,
angry
that's-
You're trying to
sensual.
play chicken with it, but you keep losing.
that object
So,
you,
Yeah.
you jump, supposed to jump over
You know what?
is killing you.
This new ability that this guy drugged me out and gave me.
Hey, at least that one was moving, right?
It's true.
I was trying to get to a platform, okay. It was
Ah,
a
tap
stupid-
A.
It was the Xbox controller, it wasn't mine.
This is a really elaborate
Oh,
like
is it
basement.
Oh,
She's locked you in.
An Xbox controller.
Oh, here we
Steam
go.
controller.
No, it's a pro control for
It's a
Switch.
Nintendo Switch Pro controller.
Does anyone
yeah.
else have tattoos
Tattoos.
like these?
yeah. So
Nope.
someone's asked if any of us have tattoos.
No, but I am looking at my first one soon.
I thought you had. What about that one for the dev you got on your butt?
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, so you do have tattoos.
You can't show that.
Yeah, I can't show that one.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Cheers.
that might be illegal.
So you got
Oh, we get
face
it
tattooed
across.
on his
Thank
butt.
you.
Oh, fancy.
It's very.
Not just
proper.
Aiden's.
You got
What did I do?
Like a
Everyone.
group.
Like a group.
picture.
A group, yeah.
Yeah.
Of me.
But
Somewhere.
if I describe what the group is doing, that might not be
That's a Twitch fan.
as a Twitch man.
It's a Twitch man.
As a Twitch man.
We love our channel. We don't want it. We don't want to kill it.
So what's your next tattoo?
Sorry, my heritage
Which is?
is Latvian.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get this thing called the Latvian Sun. So I'm gonna get that on my chest, I reckon, and then probably expand from
Are
there.
you gonna be like a Dark Souls type work?
That's it.
People
Worship the
worship
sun.
it.
That's it.
Sunbro.
But yeah, Sunbro. I'm gonna become Sunbro. But yeah, essentially it just means like life and
That's a good
love and stuff like that. So
Sunbro.
Sun Bros. Almost convinced someone's done that before.
Yeah.
no,
Not
that's
creative.
probably definitely happened.
Hardcore.
Why do people think of good shit before? Okay, what's our next boss then? What's he look like?
Why are you obsessed with like
boss.
cute little things we need to like kill? You keep hacking
Not the
them
angry
back.
soccer ball.
I just wanted
Oh my lord.
Ooh, thank you.
Ooh.
Oh, we're coming in hot with the beverages.
to get beverages. Thank you very much. Thank you, Beer Hand too.
He actually-
2.0.
Beer hand
I-
is second.
I didn't even do that before, so he's already outdone me.
Can we get a thank you
That's why
beer hand in there?
that's why we replaced you.
Yeah, true.
Yep, that's true.
I didn't never see these
Oh,
things.
Yeah.
I want to use that on it.
Ooh, that
So
works.
that's really
So that's
fucking
your
cool.
first sort of magic spell.
OP.
I need a heal now.
It's pretty OP.
Mate, you cashed up.
Or Jen. Yeah.
So tell us about the next boss.
Next boss. So the next area you're
I
going
had the
into
same
is called,
reaction, it's totally
called
okay.
The gardens, or the gardens area,
Right.
and it's probably
I worry for
one of my most favorite areas.
I worry
in the
for
game.
myself sometimes.
And I think you're versing actually a character, an integral character in the game.
Okay. Do I have to read something to find out why they're integral?
Yeah, probably.
No, I won't. Don't worry.
Really against reading.
But-
aren't
Give
you?
me-
Yeah,
just
We've
give-
got
just give me
Gavin,
the clip
so you just
notes.
ask
give me the
Gavin.
clip
Just
notes.
ask me. Just ask.
Just dumb it down for me.
So I've got
Ask Lord Hollow Knight.
fancy health now. What does that do? Is
Oh,
that just
so
more health
That's
That's shield.
that's like passive shield health. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
I know if I rest, it goes away.
Yeah.
Don't
And
rest.
Yeah, if you take a hit, you can't get it back.
Oh,
Unless you
okay.
go find some more of that, but they're
Yeah.
pretty rare and in certain areas.
So we deep.
So
right
ideally now I want to fight.
We
We're
are,
not-
we are
wait.
so deep right now.
We are pretty much right at the top.
Yeah, we're nearly
What? We
at
are.
dirt mouth.
The whole game is about descending deeper.
Oh, I know
you should-
how.
you should
Right.
Yeah, I know how to deal with this
Come on,
guy.
hurry up, do something.
Come on, do something.
Oh.
The thing is,
Oh, come on, mate.
Oh.
Come on, you're getting hit.
The thing is,
Come
I
on,
can't.
Stop
I don't
saying
have-
that.
Man,
Oh, he hasn't got, he hasn't
I don't
got
have
the
any.
power. You know you're dying.
his fireballs
You know
are
you're
only
dying.
going so
think he
far.
does.
Come on. Oh.
Oh, mate, you are getting
Alright.
your ass kicked.
Now
There you go.
I have the thing.
Yes.
Oh, you need some more?
Yeah, you need spirit or whatever you call
Should
it,
have saved
souls.
that up, shouldn't you, really? Should have put ahead.
Oh yeah, well, who knew there was going to be a thing that I needed to kill with it?
The cool thing about this game is, so like I was saying, it took me about 40-ish hours to 100% it.
Oh, God.
Um,
You're gonna
Aiden,
die.
hello?
The speed runs is about an hour 30.
Really? For
Yeah.
the whole game? You don't have to do everything.
Oh, no.
You can just go story.
How many do
Yeah.
you need?
Well, you can just do area and area, and the game's very
Oh,
like
mate. Come on.
No.
the
Come on, I'll give it another go then.
Ooh,
Yeah, someone start the clock.
that's it.
Which way am I going? This way?
Yeah, so go right and then you're up the
I've
top.
got which button does what.
And you hold A to heal.
Why am I killing him? Like, if I hit him, he still charges me.
Because you got to dodge.
If I stab you with a pencil, how many pencils is it gonna take?
Yeah, but if I'm hitting you with a sword while you're stabbing me with a pencil, you won't be stabbing me with a pencil for long.
Yeah, exactly. I need to upgrade to a sword.
Have I not got a pencil?
No, you got a needle actually.
Oh, where's my sword? How do I get a sword?
You got to upgrade. You got to make it sharper.
Oh,
You
Jesus.
gotta sharpen your needle.
Oh, I always do sharpen my needle. My needle is the sharpest needle in the
What's
pack.
happening on this stream? What's happening now?
Have we lost our way?
I think we
feel
have.
like we've lost our
Let's just go
way.
down here.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, is it like the longer you hold down jump, the higher you jump?
Yeah.
Shui Wen.
What?
Shui?
Chewy.
Do we have anyone in chat that
Shui
doesn't know
Wen.
what a Shui is? Because,
I don't know.
What?
Yeah, you
Gavin's
probably
having shows in the
don't
right
know
now.
because
Isn't that
yeah.
Top one.
You got a spare shoe around?
I can make one if you want.
you can make
Oh,
a shoe.
geez,
Make
but
a
you
shoe.
know
what I
what?
mean.
These little fuckers are actually really hard to see.
Yeah, it's almost like it's hard.
Pretty hard. Where is he? There he is. There's
Take that. God.
Who knew a hard game was hard?
Everyone's dying.
And you also have less of this spirit jar because I died, so.
Good
You're gonna
job.
have to go-
Good job.
Collect.
Oh no, platforming, my worst enemy.
Yeah.
Not the spikes again. Gonna get PTSD.
I'm actually like feeling anxious right now.
Take a breath.
Use the D-pad, it's a lot easier to control how precise you move.
Aw.
Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, you got this.
Just take your time.
Master Law 1 is this Dark Souls.
Easy.
Why would I wanna use-
Essentially.
It's 2D Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's a Dark
Oh,
Souls-esque game.
no. What is this?
Yeah, use the D-pad, it's heaps easier. It's because it's a 2D game. It'll
Come on,
feel a
you
lot
got
more
this.
natural.
Concentration on my
You got
face.
this. Have you got your tongue out?
No, but I could.
Oh.
Oh, fuck off. Oh! I'm so nearly dead. There you go. Power up.
Love how we're all really rooting for you. Have you noticed how silent
We're all just-
Guys,
This is the most
I
tension
love
that's
this-
been on stream
I
this
love this.
entire
I love the
time.
support.
intently watching?
You can do it.
So now you gotta defeat that
The
that
little
ghost
thing
down there.
that nearly knocked me off.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No.
Oh, that's your ghost.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's my ghost.
Is there spikes down there? Oh,
No,
just
but
a-
there's-
a-
oh. Come on in. Oh,
Wanna-
I can do my special power. What is
Yeah,
it?
hit it.
What
No,
button?
don't do it because I did the same
tap
thing. And
Hey.
remember, we went down
I
there and it was
wasn't watching.
Same
horrible.
one to heal. The same thing. You think just attack two.
Dementor's getting you.
Looking down to see like what
Alright.
button to push. So I got to hold A to do the special.
No, you tap it.
Tap A. Hold A to
But
heal.
you've already used all your
Oh.
spirit
You found
because
the key.
you did the same thing
No,
I
this
did.
bit with no life.
And it's almost like you knew you needed to save it.
Oh, I'm gonna cop it for dying here.
Did a key fall or was that just me?
I'm
In
gonna-
the back corner.
He spits those things out for you, but you,
Oh.
yeah, it's harder.
Much harder.
You've
you
screwed it up.
stressed? On a level of 1 to 10, how stressed are you right now?
He's dead.
On a scale of 1 to 10, dead.
Save your, just a tip, save your spirit for when you get done with the boss.
Yeah.
Can we get an F in chat for the beard man?
Oh dear, I hate this game.
So I didn't know you had to save it and I died. He knew you had to save it, still died, and didn't save it. Gavin's played like 80 hours of this game, so if he dies, he's fucking shit.
I just thought I had to kill the ghost. And you know, you left me in a
There's so much more to it than that.
You left me in a bad way. What can I say? Like,
I did.
yeah.
We're expecting big things from
But
you
I was
guys.
also being like abused and yelled at in a stressful situation.
He's played like 8
If anyone's
hours.
going to clock this, it's you.
Why are you not collecting the money?
Because we've got heaps.
No, we don't. Because we died a lot.
It's alright, we got it.
Hey!
It's like the spikes, man. Look at freaking spikes.
So the pro's going to be nervous now and he's going to spell it
That's it,
out.
we got spelling on the screen, that's it.
Yeah.
No, but this game
Captain Swift.
does get harder. Captain Swift?
Swifty.
See, now we have...
You
we got an
you got no power.
Got an F in chat?
Who cares?
Yeah, we got one F in chat.
You can't.
Respect's given.
Oh! If I had control of you right
Yeah, that's
now,
the move.
I tell you to dance like I was doing the other day.
This is a dance in this.
You can't dance,
We're
can
gonna do
you?
the victory. Everybody does the victory dance when we get past this dude.
We all floss.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck it
Oh, you want
There
to
you
know by
go.
the end of
Done.
tonight.
is. I honestly
Nice.
thought you were
Don't
talking
worry.
about doing something with your teeth, like when you flossing, when you were talking about earlier.
He's very concerned about
right,
very
yeah.
concerned about your dental health.
Apparently so, yeah. No, it's a lot more interesting than that.
Oh, did you?
That's it.
Zhao Chan.
Done.
You did that in like 2 seconds.
Zhao
Yeah.
Chan gave
What's
you,
that?
so F you.
That was so easy.
Zhao
We got
Chan
an
gave
F and then we got a U.
That's some smart
That's a bit of a hee XD.
Right, what's next? What's next for
So
Hollow
next
Man?
is the gardens, like I was saying.
Are these a bit like more light, or are they still pretty dark?
No, this is more like just incredibly atmospheric, and the soundtrack to the gardens is spectacular.
Anything we can beat, name and kill. That's all Stephen wants to do.
Yeah.
I was saying that let's just bring the peace and love back, man. Hollow Knight's the one going around murdering people. I'm all about the peace and love, but then there wouldn't be much game of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're
It
right.
would be a pretty boring game if you went up and just like tried to.
Be nice with everyone.
How's your day? You feeling okay?
Oh, guys, people wrote it turned from an FU into funny.
That's
Guys,
got our back. That's so nice.
the internet's a great place
It
sometimes,
sure
isn't
is.
it? You can't make anything rude out of the word funny, and if you can, funny.
We can try.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not challenging anyone to that because I
Not
can
challenging.
guarantee they'll come back with something.
So, what do we reckon? What are we playing next week, guys? We've got
Good.
something good.
Yep.
What's good about
Something
this
good.
Though? I'm confused. Because this is a good game, but you don't like it.
Oh, I don't mind. I don't know. Give me a chance.
I heard someone say Mario Kart might be.
I did hear Mario Kart 2.
That would be pretty.
That would be cool.
pretty skits.
Then we got any?
Yeah, I want to beat someone at something.
64.
No,
When is
you did it so well. Don't
Driving
understand.
game.
driving games?
Alright.
When's Mario Party out?
Huh?
Isn't it 10th or something? Yeah, 10th of October. So I think we'll be doing that as well.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, that wasn't a driving game, I think. No, that was Cuphead.
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 We talked about that a little bit before.
You guys have
like
not stopped
ages
talking
ago.
about Cuphead.
Cuphead is
Good
awesome.
game. We should
Yeah.
actually probably play
If you want to play a harder game, play
And it's
Cuphead.
2-player as well.
It is 2-player, yeah.
Is it 2-player on one screen?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be good. It's more than one person can play that.
But yeah, this is the next.
But they
area
don't
of the
really do.
gardens.
I think that's that's something that's been lost in the modern age because of the internet. Like they don't ever really give you a game that you can play split screen anymore.
Yeah,
You know?
single screen multiplayer is like very much not. It used to be such a huge thing like in the 90s.
What about Rocket League?
Rocket League? You can do split screen of Rocket League.
We should play some Rocket League.
I don't want to make you all sad though. I'll just win over and
But
over
if
again.
we're on the same side.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Well,
What's the point of that?
I think two people on the same side versus somebody else. Versus the internet. Versus the viewers.
Versus the viewers. We'll have a viewer.
The internet is where all the best people are.
True.
And also where all the weirdest people are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can find anything on the internet.
The greatest, weirdest
Trust
things.
me, I've looked.
Sometimes the weirdest is the greatest.
Yeah.
Most
Maybe
interesting.
not on the internet.
Yeah, that can be taken to an extreme.
I don't think you've
I
been
don't
on
know
the
what
internet for
kind
long
of
enough.
dark side you guys go to on the internet.
Like, there's fully grown men that like live their lives in the things like that on the internet, so best not to look in the dark places.
Have any of you been on the dark web?
Yeah. Ever heard of this thing called Twitch streaming?
He's like, I am the dark web.
Dark web. No, I've never been on dark web. Heard about it. I think it's all shit.
I watched this thing on YouTube the other day, and this guy's talking about the dark web, and then everybody's just like torn to pieces. It's like, with
Why?
these memes, there's a comment, it's like, oh, I like did this really minor thing, and I'm a hacker now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I once guessed my girlfriend's password in 3 guesses. I'm a hacker now. I've been on the dark web. So Hollow Knight, what's he up to now?
So
Give
he
us
is
an
going
average
through
day in the life of Hollow Knight. What
No.
does,
Hollow Knight?
what does Hollow Knight do when he wakes up? What does Hollow Knight do for fun?
Kills
He
Kills.
people.
Right.
He slices and dices.
Do you see where I'm coming from when I talk about Hollow Knight being a homicidal maniac?
he's actually trying to do the opposite. He's trying to save everyone.
Right, through murder.
I'm sorry, there are so many games where you literally just kill people.
Yeah, but you're always like,
Who's
who's the
that?
hero?
Who's that little dude that
Strange
shot
dynamic.
off?
That is the next boss.
Oh,
The
yeah.
boss.
The
We're back
boss.
with the boss.
But she is a integral character to the game.
They're all bloody
I
integral.
was about to say, you said that about everyone.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I said we're going to meet the next boss is an integral character,
So all
and
the
now
boss-
you've seen the next boss.
So all the bosses are integral, really. Is
Yes.
They all have, most of them have their own story that's like
Well,
Basically, yeah.
a structure to the game. So
Okay. So, did everybody complete Spider-Man? How did we go with Spider-Man in the end? You've still not played it?
I beat that one boss fight that we got up to, which was Shocker and Vulture.
Yeah.
And currently doing, I think it's basically the end game.
Right.
So like, Rhino's doing some shit around town. He's
Oh,
making a
that
making a
Rhino.
mess.
That Rhino, he's a character.
He is.
In
I
a
don't
game.
know. I don't know who else is the
Character in
bad
a
guy
game.
in that game. I think it's Scorpion.
Scorp-
Scor-
I
the-
always want to say Scorpio. Like
Yeah, I
it's
feel like
his-
that's
it's
it.
his star
I don't know.
sign.
But he's just he acts like a scorpion. And then Doctor
Spider-Man
Octopus.
Scorpion,
is the
get
sense
over
of, like,
it.
stars.
Basically.
There's Leo and Scorpio and I don't know.
You're just
Virgo.
naming star signs.
Star signs.
Yeah, I was just saying if Spider-Man's enemies were like
All star signs.
I'll get you next time, Gemini.
Like a really sensitive Virgo was his answers.
God, the Aries are always so tough and
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
Always so bloody stubborn. Insert.
Insert Geo.
What does that do?
Gets to the next area. It's kind of like a sort of soft check, being like, "Hey, you're not bad at the game." So
That was the
currency,
quickest
right?
sit I've ever seen. Who sits
What,
for
okay, so
0.1 of
somebody's
a second?
asked, somebody's asked what's everybody's star sign?
Oh, there we go. I am an Aries, so I can pay out Aries as I did just before.
Yeah, Gemini.
I am not surprised.
Nuts.
Yeah, what star sign are you then?
I'm a Leo.
Yeah.
Of course you are.
All the best people are Leos.
The leaders of the pack.
I'm a solitary animal.
You're a lion.
Did your star sign today say you'll suck at Hollow Knight?
Yeah, I did actually.
That's fun.
Callan, what are you?
I'm a Gemini.
Ah, we got two
Yeah.
Geminis.
Yeah, not buying it.
I'm Taurus. I'm in the good part of me.
There's a bad part of me.
Yeah.
Gemini.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Chat's questions have been answered.
Yeah, nice.
So we're going to meet this integral boss.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Is it like? Oh, hello.
That reminds me of those trees that come out
Oh, mate.
in the Darkwood
Jesus.
Forest in Dark Souls 1.
You're doing like a Mario. You're jumping his head.
It's got a shield. Wrecked.
He's a prick too, but whatever.
He looks annoying.
Man's got skills.
Yeah, all the dodging that's going on. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He read you hard then. He's like, this bitch is gonna jump. Bang.
That's gonna hit me.
Can you not use your special?
He just used all of his.
He's
You
got
gotta
no
look at the
resist-
juice in the top left, man. You always say use your shit when we have no juice.
You do know you're not supposed to hit his shield, right? You have to avoid the shield.
Yeah.
You're talking to the bloke who's 100% in the game,
I'm
mate.
just telling him. I'm just making sure that he knows that the shield stops your sword.
Hey, at least I
But
know.
it's a shield.
At least I know bees to jump.
That's the first time I played this game.
What's Hollow Knight's star sign?
When do you reckon? Yeah. When do you reckon he's
He's
born?
dead. I don't think he's got one.
Just because he's dead doesn't mean you can't have
It
a
doesn't
star
mean you
sign.
can't be
Yeah.
born somewhere.
Oh, that was a question.
No, that was a question.
Yeah, yeah.
I got you said.
That was a real question in chat.
As opposed to a fake question from chat.
Yeah.
Hey, chat, give us
Yeah.
a fake question. I'm interested.
Well, when's?
Can we get a fake question?
Can we get a
It's
fake
fake
question?
questions, and it's fake questions as well.
This is getting a bit existential. Is there such thing as a fake question? Like a question is short as a question, and there's an answer to every question now.
And in a parallel
What about a
universe.
rhetorical question? Are there answers? There are no answers for rhetorical questions.
Well, a rhetorical question is a question that needs no answer. It doesn't mean that you can't answer it, right?
Yeah.
So it's a
It
question
just-
that you kind of. Yeah, don't worry. It's so
You don't go. You don't bother
you don't have to
answering it.
answer
Yeah, you don't
Like,
bother
go,
it because
that's a
you already.
rhetorical
Yeah.
question because you already know the answer. But people still do answer rhetorical questions. It's not unanswerable.
Right.
There you go.
Yes.
That's Hollow Knight,
There we
great.
go.
I love this game so much, right?
And
basically
the
this is-
Hornet.
this is Hornet.
Here we go.
So
Boss
she's-
number 3.
Oh, Hornet looks badass.
Oh, this is going to be the
It's
last
also
boss as well
I feel like you're gonna
that we play.
So we're gonna
Yeah.
wrap it up.
This will be the last thing that we do.
After
after we kill this boss, surely.
Gav kills him.
Yeah, after the boss. If
let's
Gav
try
kills
and
the
take
boss,
10
when Gav kills the boss,
Full power.
could be here for a while.
Don't you have enough juice to do the special thing?
No, dude. A lot of people like have their own sort of play style in this game, and I just like.
You're not using the juice.
No, I like to walk up and smack the living crap out of all the bosses.
You should just use.
Oh!
You should use the juice
Not sure that's working for you at the moment.
to heal yourself now, because you're gonna die. It's old backseat gaming until he loses.
No, don't do that.
No,
Push
yeah.
this.
Why did you do this? You should have jumped there, man.
Use your juice.
Use your thing now.
Use your special
Jump.
juice on her.
Juice now. Juice. You didn't do it. You're not listening to me.
What about your super Dukin thing you do?
Yeah. Yeah, you did it. See?
Yeah, smash it.
And you got hit afterwards. It's shit. Don't do it. Do it again.
Great wisdom
Do
and
your
advice.
special power. Special juice.
Use the
It's
juice,
amazing.
Gavin.
Every time they land, you should just do it.
YouTube stream, Elizabeth Grell. Is she a strawberry? Is who a strawberry?
The boss.
I assume the boss.
Or is it
Doesn't
like
look
a?
like she's a strawberry.
Let's get a good.
Good question, Elizabeth.
It's like a hornet.
So I mean, maybe.
Maybe because her name's Hornet. Maybe means she's a Hornet.
I guess we all forgot the name
That was
of the
rhetor-
boss.
Was a rhetorical
Yeah.
statement.
Anyway, so that was the Hornet boss fight. You fight her another time, and then you unlock your second ability, which is your dash.
Nice.
Right, so we will.
So we
be
beat 3
playing-
bosses, and that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that game.
So next week we're thinking we might hit up a driving game. Yeah.
Whatever we want.
Particular driving game. Rocket League.
Rocket League, something. I know we can have
Idea
a
game
poll
Rocket
in
League.
chat or something like that. Just be like, hey, what game should we play? What game can
If
we
people want to see me
fun?
bash people in Tekken, I'm
Baden
happy
in
for that.
Like, you want to see that.
You really want to shine.
You just want to see yourself winning.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to
He
play
wants to have his
Tekken.
moment.
Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll let you know about any special guests we have coming up, because we will try to get some guys in from maybe studios that are based in Australia, like the guys that make Hollow Knight, and I can tell them how amazing the game is and how good it is.
Yeah, just show them the stream and they'll
Yeah,
love,
okay.
they'll love to come on.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I said I can appreciate the game. I'm just hate it because I'm not very good at it. So
Yeah, it's fair.
You heard it here first.
you heard it here first. Delete this video. Cool.
Nice.
Over and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, see you next week.
See you next week.